entering into the fourth generation of people that would never have existed had it not been for antibiotics.
Well, that would be a very positive side of the antibiotics, but in your piece, you wrote about the negative side,
right.
And this touches a bit on the medical and political side of it all. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, antibiotics control the population, the quality and the quantity of the population to the point that we didn't have to worry about having so many people that were unable to support themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have all these people that dependent on the government now for handout. They just didn't exist. And not only that, the breakup of the family unit has been the big destructive point in our civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to Woodstock, for example, that was the convulsion that threw our whole morality system in a killer.
Mm-hmm.
That occurred in the 1960s, you know. And prior to that time, we didn't have all these problems about all of these children born out of wedlock and with no fathers, absent fathers, and the government having to support them. And like I said in the article, there's a limit to how far that can go. Somebody has to work and pay taxes in order to support this.
I think, as you said here, having interrupted nature's balance, this segment of the population will inevitably overwhelm the ability of the working families to support them. And we see that situation happening even today. I mean,
right.
And this was written a long time ago. We see happening today where 51% of the people, or a huge percentage of the people, are dependent on government services and not dependent upon their own resources.
Exactly.
And this can only go so far. The same thing you were saying then.
And they reproduce an unlimited number of replacements for them. That segment of the population represents a very huge percentage of our population growth.
Well, in your article here, you said there is a solution to this, quote, vexing problem. Tell us what you think this could be. This sounds a little bit like Jonathan Swift, which we can cover in just a moment or so. But tell me what your situation was. How would you solve this?
I suggested that as a possibility. We seem to be in the mode now of buying out General Motors and buying out other corporations. And, why not buy out these young teenage girls who have 2 or 3 children before they reach the age of 21? Why don't we offer them a buyout, say $25,000, to come in voluntarily and have your tubes tied off?
Be sterilized.
Be sterilized, yeah. That would be a real investment. If you stop to think, just one case, for example, if she has 3 or 4 kids that end up having to be supported in jail, just think how much the government would save over a period of a lifetime. It'd be a tremendous investment.
You could do the same with the guys, offer them $25,000 as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think that they deserve equal attention, because what we could do at least is if they are producing children for which they assume no responsibility for being taken care of, why not just deny them a driver's license? That's a privilege.
Yep, it is.
And just say, okay, until you support your children, you get no driver's license. That would help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about a financial solution to this problem. So morality comes into there. There might be a lot of discussion on that side of it. What do you think?
Very much so. But the sad part about it is that the mother she takes the government subsidy that intended for the support of the child, and she spends her time at the nightclub, and grandmother's taking care of the child.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on now.
Well, you say most importantly here, as you end your letter, most importantly we would reduce that portion of the population that is non-productive, right, and regain the balance in society that existed before the advent of antibiotics.
Now you're talking.
That's pretty interesting. Let me read something to you, okay? And I want to come back to the 30s and talk about presidents that you've had the opportunity to watch in action here. Ben Stein wrote something pretty interesting. I really like Ben Stein. He said, "Fathom the hypocrisy of a government that requires every citizen to prove they are insured, but not everyone must prove they are a citizen. And now, any of those who refuse or are unable to prove they are citizens will receive free insurance paid for by those who are forced to buy insurance because they are citizens." This is the hypocrisy of the government that I think you're trying to talk about, right?
Exactly.
It's really interesting, isn't it, how it goes on and on.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go back and talk about presidents. We can kind of get into a little bit of this. Your life has spanned so many years. Wow. You have, tell me first of all, who you think were the worst, who was the worst president during your time?
There's no question about that. But Jimmy Carter is the worst president of my time.
Tell me why.
Well, he, first place, he tapped out to Castro and allowed Castro to dump all these refugees in the country. In the second place, he gave away the Panama Canal. And he also he was just not an astute president.
Well, he was well known for the inflation rate at that time. I remember being able to buy treasury bills, getting 15% on a 30-year bill, and why did I ever sell them before they matured? I'll never know.
Yeah, I bought quite a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course, if you wanted to buy a house, you had 22% interest. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible. And then Iran. Well, we had the hostages in Iran. It took, what, 400 days to get those guys and those people out of there?
Yeah.
How about Clinton?
Clinton? Now, that's another story. Clinton was not a bad president. From a morality point of view, he didn't have much to offer, but you'll have to admit that some of Clinton's contributions were very satisfactory.
Okay, let's talk about, I'm sorry, I didn't know you could.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the best presidents.
Best presidents? I'd have to put, well, Ronald Reagan is the best president of my time. No question about it. If you took away the second two terms of the Roosevelt administration, he would run him a close second.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the worst president is hands down, no doubt.
Ronald Reagan.
But he's got some competition now, though.
Go ahead, I'll let you finish the statement.
I think he has some competition for that position. We won't know until another 4 years. But after 4 more years, we might have to change that.
Oh, you think so?
It's possible.
You're thinking the president we have now might overtake Ronald Reagan?
It's a possibility.
I see a little tongue-in-cheek comment from you on that also.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I tell you, the best presidents, the worst presidents, and all that. I do want to say it's really been extremely interesting dealing with you today and talking with you today. Something was sent to me. I'd like to have your comment on this, okay? Yeah. Something was sent to me. It was an article in the St. Petersburg, Florida Times business section. It said, "Dear Mr. President, please find below my suggestions for fixing America's economy. Instead of giving billions of dollars to companies that will squander the money on lavish parties and unearned bonuses, use the following plan. You can call it the Patriotic Retirement Plan. There are about 40 million people over 50 in the workforce. Pay them $1 million apiece severance for early retirement with the following stipulations. 1, they must retire. 40 million job openings, unemployment fixed. 2, they must buy a new American car. 40 million cars ordered, auto industry fixed. 3, they must either buy a house or pay off their mortgage, housing crisis fixed. It can't get any easier than that. Now, here's the one I like. If more money is needed, have all members in Congress pay their taxes. And Mr. President, while you're at it, make Congress retire on Social Security and Medicare. I'll bet both problems would be fixed pronto. What do you think about that?
It makes sense.
A lot of sense, right? Oh well, you know, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. I'd like to close this interview with one statement that you made when you wrote to your family about how you had experienced life, and you said the most important decision one can make in their lives. And I'd like you to tell us about that.
Choice of a spouse.
The choice of a spouse.
Right.
Well, that worked well for you, didn't it?
Did.
Absolutely.
67 years.
Okay. Well, Spencer Dryden, again, wonderful having the interview with you here at St. Andrews South. Everybody here knows you, and you're just a swell guy, 103 years young, and I appreciate you taking the time to grace our studios here, our remote studios today, telling us a little bit about your life and what a wonderful citizen of Punta Gorda you are. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And folks, we'll look for you again next week. You've been listening to Southwest Florida Focus on Clear Channel. I'm Charlie Shue. Have a great day.